Guys, welcome back to Be Moments. Thank you for stopping by. I'm happy to have you here. If you clicked on this video, then you are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Yes, it's about trust, but we're not going to be talking about trust in theory. I'm going to be giving you some very important statistics that you need to know about. No matter where you work, no matter who you are, what you do, trust is important if you're going to build lasting wealth, lasting legacy, and have a good name, build wonderful values that you're going to transfer to the people coming after you. So most importantly, do not go anywhere. Make sure you watch the video to the end because it's very, very important. And don't forget to drop a comment. I know you have one or two things you would like to add. I want to learn too from my wonderful audience. So yes, let's get right into it. I love this particular topic so much because I always talk about it with my friends, colleagues, wherever I find myself. I always give my 2 cents when it comes to trust in business, okay? Trust, integrity, and how you generally perform your business day-to-day activities, okay? If you have so much money but you don't have trust, it is absolutely nothing. No matter how much you put into a business, no matter how much money you drown into a business, running ads, doing one thing or the other, paying influencers, putting yourself out there, if your customers, if your clients cannot trust you, if you do not have integrity, then they will not stay with you for long. One experience is all it takes, and boom, they are gone. And that is how they will tell every other person about their experience. For me, as a person, I will not buy from someone and I have a terrible experience and not tell my friends about it. It's not possible. And even you as a business, because I'm a business owner, okay? And even you as a business owner, and you go to another business owner's page or website or wherever it is you go to like shop, and you have a terrible experience, tell yourself the truth. You will tell your story. And you telling your story is not like you want to, talk bad about this person. But the experience was bad. And all you're doing is telling your story. And of course, that story will lead a lot of people not to come back. Not have they only lost you, they've lost a lot of other people. I always say this, some businesses might be seeing, let's say, profit, 1M monthly. That's 1 million naira. And that's a lot of money, okay? But I promise you that if that business owner has a customer service that's shitty, if they have a bad reputation for doing certain things, and just generally how they run their business is not appealing to certain like people who have come and then they don't go back there, trust me when I say that that business has a potential of earning even triple of that profit. That is to say, they can earn even 3 million if they can fix some of the things that's happening around them. Because they already have the audience, they have the people. What they need is to fix their trust capital. What they need is to add more coins and build up their trust capital, right? Without that trust capital, just forget about it. That's just the truth. So like I said earlier, this is more of, statistics. I'll be giving you the statistics. And let me remind you that I read all these important things from this book, okay? And it makes me happy that they came with some really hard facts. And I'll be reading it out from page 31 of the book. So stay with me. I know that some of you be like, oh, I'm referring to just business owners. No, I'm not just referring to business owners. No matter who you are, whether or not you work a 9 to 5 or you have a business, trust is important. So let's get into the facts. Personal reputation premium. Senior executives with strong reputations command salary premiums of 20 to 40% higher than technically equivalent peers. In essence, if my trust capital is high, let's say one company might be paying you up to 300 million naira monthly. But I could come in and because they've heard about me, they've heard certain things, my trust capital is high because of how I've conducted myself in the past, they could potentially give me 500 million or 450 million compared to you that they would give maybe 300 million or 250. So you see that trust is important even when you work a 9 to 5. And I know that I'm calling millions of hundreds of millions and it feels so far-fetched. You probably moved to a new company and they've heard in the past that you're a good asset manager, you're a good this, and they've heard some good things about you. And maybe someone even recommended you. And normally, the role you're going for is 10 million naira monthly. You can say, no, you want 15. And even though they might be like, but because of the things they've heard about you, they'll give you that 50 million naira. Trust me, it happens all the time. All the time. To build a business of high caliber and good reputation takes you over 15 years, 15 to 20 years to build such a strong, reputation and strong business. But it can take you less than 5 minutes to break it down. Just one harsh treatment on a customer, just one failed transaction, and you did not do much about it. Like, banks in Nigeria don't have trust capital. That is why it was very easy for Opay to come in and take over. Why? Because of their trust capital was very, 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 very high. Just use that one as a plain example, because I know that most of my audience are Nigerians, right? So just use it as a plain example. How many persons now in Nigeria do not have an Opay account? Almost every Nigerian has an Opay account. Why? The moment you send your money, the next person gets it. The moment money drops into your account, you get an alert, you see the money. Or the moment someone sends you money, you get your money instantly. Sometimes if you make a mistake, depending on how fast you are to try and retrieve the money back that was probably sent wrongly, Opay can even help you fast track it. If you're sending a large sum of money, even when you click send, they'll pop up a message that says you're about to send a large sum of money. Look through again and be sure. And then you click yes and you send it. There's just a whole lot of things about, their transactions that make it so easy for people to trust them. A friend of mine, I was having a conversation with him, and he said, see, if someone says, like, if I've not received money on my Opay in less than 1 minute, that means the person has not sent it. And it's the truth. I've never sent money to someone who has an Opay account, or someone sends me money and I don't receive it instantly. So if it's taking more than a minute, I'm sorry, but the person we don't trust is that person that said they've sent the money, not Opay. So you see, and they're taking over Nigeria, and they've taken over Nigeria, literally, like, we all know this. Transactional cost. High trust environments see up to 50% reduction in transactional costs compared to low trust equivalents. So this means that the cost of the transaction can reduce drastically. The money spent on their cost of transaction can reduce drastically because these two people trust each other. Let's say two companies want to come together. Maybe Opay and Moniepoint want to come together, and maybe Moniepoint's trust capital is high, Opay's trust capital is high, and they feel like, okay, these are two trusted businesses, we can do this. There are certain things they will not put their money into doing. For example, some people want to do business with you, they have to pay a private investigator to check you out, to investigate your life, your formal dealings, so many things. And do you know how much private investigators charge? That's a lot of money, because they are doing this thing on a low. You will not even know that somebody is digging into your life, your history, your past, your financials. But if you're someone who can be trusted, it's very simple. They don't need to pay a private investigator, and they've saved that money, right? And so many other things that was explained in this book. So I really encourage you to buy this book. If this is your first time of seeing it, we've been talking about it in this channel for a while now. Jewish Secrets on Wealth Creation. Very practical and wonderful. Then we also have the trust in relationship. Yes, I know we're talking about wealth, but trust me, when you have a good marriage, it can really translate into the amount of money you make. Quote me anywhere. Just quote me anywhere. I give you the permission. So in this book, our wonderful writer spoke about two relationship researchers that spoke about the emotional bank account, right? So every time your partner is reliable, every time your partner is kind to you, every time your partner is attentive, every time they are sorry when they do something wrong to you, every consistency is a deposit into that emotional bank account. Then every time there's contempt, deception, lies is a withdrawal from that emotional bank account. So in essence, they are trying to say that marriages are not failing just from nowhere. They are failing because the emotional bank account is now dry. Very, very, very dry. Because over the years, there has been contempt, deception, deceit. You probably do something to your partner, you don't apologize, you don't say sorry, you're just like, after all. And that's why you see two people living as roommates. Meanwhile, they're actually supposed to be married, or they're actually married. So that's the same thing that happens with businesses. I see some people complaining, sales was low, this, and they've been in this business for a while. But message them now and you see why. Message that business and then you find out why. Yes, I know that there are some times where Sales are actually low. For businesses that are reliable, you know, they don't try to deceive their customers, they tell them the truth, they give them good recommendations and all of that. But at the same time, there's some businesses that they complain, they come online, but yet it's like it's your fault. Introspection, you need to look in. Like, you really need to look in and not out. Okay, I'll end this video by reading this thing out. The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners estimates that commercial dishonesty costs the global economy $5 trillion annually. Now, you can impute that into any of your AI to properly explain and break this thing down. But I'll be breaking it down in my next video because this trust continues. We have 2 episodes on this. This is the first one. So see you in the next video. Bye.